I've been very outspoken about what's happened on these campuses. I'm shocked. I say it's just, they're fostering intellectual rot. They are not teaching critical thinking among these young people. And what do you say when they characterize what Hamas did as resistance, not as an invasion?
Well, Hamas openly declares its goal to wipe out everything you see around here, to kill every man, woman, and child in Israel, to destroy the state. That's not resistance. That's naked, brutal aggression. That's their doctrine. Iran is saying the same thing. Our goal is to destroy Israel. We're the small Satan, by the way. Their goal is to destroy you. You're the big Satan. We're just standing in their way, and they're right. We're not merely protecting ourselves. We are. But in so doing, we're protecting all of free civilization, all of Western culture. They want to erase it. They want to tear it out. So what I always feel is that we can't kowtow to these fashions. And what is happening on American campuses and American cities, you got, first of all, you have a lot of ignorant people there who's, I'm sorry to say, whose sense of history at best goes back to breakfast, not even that. Okay, they don't have the faintest clue what Hamas is. You know, I saw Gays for Gaza. You hear that?
I've seen the banner.
Yeah, if you're gay and you're in Gaza, you're going to be shot right through the back of your head.
What I've said is, march that banner into Gaza,
right.
and see
or
how far you
women for Gaza. Look at the state of women there. They're chattel. They talk about from the river to the sea. Here's the river. The river is right there, the Jordan River.
Right.
The sea is a few miles from here. That's Israel. When they say river, from the river to the sea, that's wipe out the state of Israel.
Yeah.
They're supporting genocide. Now, this is a sorry state of American higher education, including the schools where I went to. I went to one of them. You know, when the president of a university is asked, well, what would you say if somebody calls for the genocide of Jews? And they say it depends on the context. No, it doesn't.
No,
it doesn't. But it tells you that there's a deep rot, as you say, and a bankruptcy there. And unfortunately, it's translated to these people. But they're also, a lot of these people are also manipulated. They don't even understand that they're being organized systemically by groups that are not merely opposed to Israel. You look at what they're doing. They burnt, I saw this yesterday, amazing. They burned American flags in one campus. In another campus, I think in North Carolina or South Carolina, I'm not sure which, they tore down the American flag, raised the Palestinian flag, while they're chanting death to Israel, death to America. And then something happened. American students took down the Palestinian flag, raised the American flag, and protected it.
Right.
And I was deeply moved by that.
Yes,
and that emphasizes, Dr. Phil, what I'm trying to say here. It's not merely our battle, it's your battle. It's the battle of democracies. It's the battle of civilization against barbarism. And we're on the front line, and we're not going to give up.
It is our battle, and we don't want you to give up. And I want to say very clearly to everyone watching this, everyone in Israel that is watching this and around the world, that what you're seeing on these campuses is not reflective of the vast majority of American people. These are the shrill voices. This is the tyranny of the fringe that is hijacking a narrative, and they may be getting the camera because of their extremism and getting the microphone, but the vast majority of American people, and a lot of these are my audience, don't agree with that. They stand strong behind Israel. They recognize that you are our ally and that this will not stop with Israeli Jews. It will not stop with American Jews. It will then become Westerners, and that we're all in this together. And I've said loud and long, you know who your friends are when you see who's coming in the door when everybody else is going out, and America needs to come in the door here when everybody else is going out. And most of Americans, that vast majority of the 70% in the middle, feel exactly that way and stand strong behind Israel. And they've said, what do you expect when you sit down with the Prime Minister? And I said, well, listen, don't let the suit fool you. This gentleman has been in the IDF twice, been 5 years the first time, injured multiple times, correct? You were back in '73 for the second time, and you lost your brother at Entebbe. So sorry for that. He was the only one killed because he was the last one on the plane, right?
He was first to lead his men in this rescue mission of hostages, by the way.
Right.
Held by Palestinian and German terrorists in Uganda. And he commanded the rescue force that liberated 103 hostages, unfortunately.
And it went very well.
It was successful, but there was only one
it was just him.
Military casualty, and that was him. He led the force. He went first, so he fell first.
And then you headed up the Anti-Terror Institute in his name in 1978. So you know the players, is my point. You've been in the military, and then you know America because you did come and study at MIT.
Yes.
And got your architecture degree and management studies as well as a master's degree. So you know America. You know what's there, and you know the players here. And is it true that you are the youngest prime minister?
Not now.
Not now.
I've been around a long time.
Yeah.
But yes, I was elected when I was 46, which is still the youngest, but
and the longest serving.
Yes.
So, and that's what I mean when I say you know the players here.
I know also our Arab neighbors, and we have quite a few who are, I've made 4 peace deals with the help of the United States, with the help of the President Trump and his team. We expanded the circle of peace from Jordan, which is right behind these hills, and Egypt, to include 4 countries, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Morocco and Sudan. And I know that many of these leaders, even though they won't say so publicly, would like to see us defeat Hamas because they understand that not only does Hamas and Iran that backs it want to destroy Israel and are targeting America, they're targeting them too. So they're sort of in between a rock and a hard place. They don't always say it. But I think the future of peace in the Middle East depends on this victory. Because if they're victorious, or if they're not defeated, which is the same thing, then there's no hope for the moderates. There's no hope for the Western allies. There's no hope for the bearer of our common values here, which is Israel. So we have to win for ourselves, but also for civilization.
Well, trade hats with me for a minute here and look at the psychology of this. What did Hamas hope to gain on October 7th? They cannot realistically expect that they're going to wipe out the state of Israel or all the Jews in Israel. They would if they could, but they can't. Mm-hmm. You could, but you won't wipe out the
population, right?
The entire population.
No, we don't do that.
So you could, but you won't. They would, but they can't. So what do they expect to do? What do they hope to gain on October 7th?
Well, you're a student of the human soul, and you are a psychologist. So you know the emergence of cults. This is a death cult. It inculcates the desire for murder, for death, the glorification of murder and death. That's what they do. We value life, they value death. So they teach their children, their teens, their people, that the greatest thing that they can do is murder Jews and Israelis. And to do that, it's an uncontrollable urge. You know that human behavior is sometimes it's rational, but often it's guided by irrational impulses that dominate a group, that dominate a nation. It could happen. It happened in the Holocaust. It's exactly what happened. Right. Hitler took over this thing, inculcated German youth and inculcated the entire people of Germany with this extraordinary hatred, began with the Jews, this anti-Semitism, and then exploded to the entire world. And by any rational calculation, they would lose if they figured it out from the start. But they did it anyway. Here there's an attempt, as you said, the goal is the same goal, the annihilation of the Jews. The capability is not the capability. Because 40 years ago, or 75 years ago, in the Holocaust, we were absolutely defenseless. So the Jewish people went up in the flames of the Auschwitz gas chamber. Now, we're facing an enemy that wants to achieve exactly the same goal, but now we can defend ourselves. We have the Israeli army, we have our brave soldiers, unbelievably brave. By the way, men and women, unbelievably brave, so we can push them back. The difference is not in intent, the difference is in capability. And that's why we're committed to defend ourselves. Because if we don't, then there are other forces around us. Hezbollah, that's an Iranian proxy in Lebanon, not very far from here. The Houthis in Yemen, militias, extreme Shiite radicals in Iraq and in Syria. If we don't win here, that noose of death will surround us. So we know we have to win here, as we know that we have to hold back Iran's plans to achieve nuclear weapons. These are our two greatest goals.